Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of Through the
Wow.
Mist. How did we get to 30?
I don't know.
It's after 29. I know
It
that.
is, yeah, and I guess
Right?
last week was 20, or the week before was 29, and so that puts us at 30. So, yeah.
We're almost as old as I am.
Oh, much
Our
younger than
insurance.
I am.
We've been able to drink for a long time now.
Hooray. So, I guess let's do a brief recap of last episode, and this will also help Mana catch up as far as what happened. Um, So last year, remember, Mano, you were in the sewer still, correct? And you had just done something. Oh, you had been dreaming. You had been dreaming about your other self running through the forest,
Yes.
and as you were woken up with Lilith standing with a sword in her hand, looking maybe like she's gonna use it like an alarm clock.
Oh yeah,
Love
totally.
that.
Right,
Love
right. You had
nothing
noticed that
wrong.
the water was starting to raise up and cover the little perch that you were on. So at the beginning of last game, you had dived down because you couldn't get the water to move itself, and so you dived down and pulled out what was the remnants of a guard that you recognize. Not the, you don't recognize the specific guard, but you had pulled out a guard from Paradon, so from above somehow had washed down here. The guard was not in one piece. It was missing. I think it was a he. He was missing at least one leg. Had several bite marks taken out of it. So something had definitely chewed upon this person. You did finish a long rest, so I won't have you click your long rest because some things did happen after that. Um,
Okay.
you had decided to try and find your way through the sewer to get to the area of Paradon that you think is essentially where the mansion was, where Alphonse Calvet's mansion was. Popping up, you had gotten close. You were kind of in the neighborhood of where Dizzy and Twiggy had found that house. Bless you. You had found that house that they had kind of decided was theirs.
Right.
Okay. Twiggy had decided was his, uh, and made your way quietly and pretty stealthily to Alphonse Calvet's manor. But when you got there, you noticed that the iron gates were closed and there were several guards outside, and tied or like kind of tied and hung from the front gates were two doppelgangers. One that was unconscious or dead, you weren't sure which, that was in its true form, and the other which also seemed to be unconscious or at least not very reactive, but seemed to be shifting constantly, like it couldn't hold its either its true form or any of the other forms. The guards kind of tried to blow you all off, which I feel like irritated people. And one of the guards was sent to either fetch or warn, depending on how you look at it, Alphonse Calvet, that you had arrived. Does that all sounds right so far, everyone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as Alphonse came out, I honestly don't remember who started it. Oh no, he came out and he was talking with you all, and there was definitely something to Alphonse's mannerisms that was off. You decided this wasn't Alphonse, and the violence began. So, in a fairly brief battle, game time wise, you had dispatched the doppelganger that was pretending to be Alphonse, as well as several jackalweres that were pretending to be Alphonse's guards. At the end, the one who had come out to and was pretending to be Alphonse was running back inside when I believe it was Lilith took him out. Yeah. And you would realize that this doppelganger was wielding not only the jawbone, which he stabbed Lilith with, I think, and Lilith disappeared for some time. He also had a really nasty dagger. The dagger seemed to heal him when he dealt damage with it, but also was kind of extra icky if you got hit by it.
Okay.
I believe somebody let down the shifting doppelganger as you realized he was awake, or it was awake. And that doppelganger kind of was muttering to itself, like seemed very weak, not really completely with it, went up and tried to get the dagger, but somebody stopped it. I think it was Lilith. We'll go with, for now, it was Lilith. And somebody took the jawbone. That would be Twiggy. Twiggy has the jawbone. Has anyone taken the knife? Or is the knife still laying on the ground next to the corpse of the imposter?
I feel like I picked it up.
Okay. So the knife is there, and you notice that that doppelganger is, kind of like eyeing it, but just seems really weakened, is having a hard time. Well, obviously, like, he has some interest in it, but doesn't seem to have the ability to like chase you down and try and take it from you. Did I miss anything? Does that sound about right?
I think that sounds about right.
All right.
Also, hospitality, lack of hospitality, and of course, that's how we knew in the end that they were, not who they were supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
It was no tea and crumpets.
Yeah,
No tea and crumpets.
for educating us on like how things are supposed to be. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known.
Totally. Well, with that, let's dive in.
So just mechanics wise, in terms of long rest health type of things, what do you want Lyra at?
You're at 13 hit points.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to update that. Works for me. All right. Sounds
and
good.
You had all noticed that there were people kind of looking out the windows at you all, and I believe you had noticed near the end that one of the windows, the curtains had kind of flicked shut, as though that person had walked away. And shortly thereafter, the fellow who is Elefance's like head butler steps out. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate your help. They've been terrorizing the household since you've been gone almost. I'm so glad you're back. Can you help me get him down? And he gestures to the doppelganger that is still hanging from the fence.
No. Lilith is going to grab that knife and then try and help with the knife. Cut the doppelganger down.
Gotcha. Cut the doppelganger.
Yeah.
Take that.
Stab. I'm helping. No.
Absolutely. You easily cut the cords that are holding the doppelganger up, and as he kind of drops to the ground, his eyes open, and there's a slight tremor to his skin that the likeness of Alphonse tries to set in, but then he just closes his eyes again, like he passes out, and he reverts back to that kind of purpley, rubbery hide.
Flying animal of some sort, just like a really old prune.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Like a flying animal of some sort, or like a really old prune.
Very pruny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dizzy, what are you doing?
I'm gonna see if there's a way that I can help in any way.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like
I think we all need to be healed by the
right.
Oh yeah, I've got 5 HP, so
You could definitely help carry you're pretty sure this doppelganger is the true Alphonse, as far as the way that the butler is acting. And you notice that at the door, several of the other house servants have like come and are staring out, and several have like come and brought some water, like a jug of water, and they like kneel down next to him and pour some water and try and tip it into his mouth.
He just needs a little nap.
Apparently all of you do.
Mhm.
Stab on it. We'll be fine.
Dizzy, so you're
Yeah.
going to help carry him back inside?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Mhm.
As you carry his feet, as the butler is like hooked him under the armpits and is hefting him that direction, you carry him through the doorway, and there's like obvious damage done to the inside, like battle has been done here. There's scarring on the floor, there's like chunks of wood taking out of the wall. Several of the like vases and statues and stuff that were kind of decorating the edges of the room have been destroyed. The banister has some of those, like the banister rods are broken out. Twiggy, what are you up to?
I think, given that we have not received our standard greeting at the gate, I'm gonna go about getting that arranged since the master of the house is clearly indisposed, and so I'm going to temporarily assume command of this house, as is of course customary, and get something whipped up for the arrivals.
So you're gonna go into the kitchen, and
Mm.
so as you head into the kitchen, it looks like there was food actually in the works before the kitchen crew came out to help kind of with the situation that's going on, and they were watching out the windows. But you notice that like a lot of what was happening essentially was meat being seared lightly and then thrown onto plates. There's like bits of bone and just like bloody plates stacked in the sink with this dirty water. It doesn't look like much else has been being cooked recently.
I mean, that
Keto
works.
kinda?
What was that, Adela?
The keto?
Right. Solid protein, nothing else.
Pure protein. I mean, it'll have to do. You know, I know that they don't have all the fancy things, you know, that I am accustomed to. So we'll do with these bloody plates.
Okay.
That seems to be delicious. That must be what's on the menu today. Hope it's not people.
Make a medicine check or a nature check.
Boy.
Soylent Green. Probably not people.
I guess I need to look at the thing. 3.
That's 3.
It sure is meaty, and it's
Mm.
like there's definitely like an aroma of like cooked steak in the room.
Like rare, you know, as it's supposed to be, you
Yeah.
know, almost sounding like it was talking at one point. Cows, of course, talk.
Yeah,
Right.
Lilith feels a little sus with all this. She wants to kind of assist in that medicine check, just to kind of.
Okay, so you're gonna go into the kitchen with
Yeah,
Twiggy.
yeah. Let's see what's going on.
Sure, go ahead and roll. So as you're looking around, it looks like there are definitely like pieces of meat that are on like a cutting board, like the cutting block. There's butcher knives hanging out around it, and you notice some like scraps of cloth, some hide that doesn't really match with anything that would be cow or goat or sheep. It doesn't really have fur on it.
Hmm. I think Lilith is going to be just slightly disgusted and walk out. Just walk out.
But you're not going to tell Twiggy what it is?
Nope.
Okay. While this is all going on, Lyra, what are you doing?
Lyra probably is sticking close to Lilith. Like, Lyra was there when Lilith like disappeared for a while, so she's probably like sticking close to Lilith, and just kind of being like, "What the f- just
So
happened?"
did she go to the
Like,
did she go to the kitchen with Lilith? Did she see all
I
this?
mean, she probably like followed Lilith towards the kitchen, but like stayed in the hall type of thing.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, there's like
but she also doesn't. Yeah,
Sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was gonna say, she doesn't really want to leave like Alphonse like out of her sight, but also like that man needs to rest. So
Right.
she's kind of waiting till like the servants are done taking care of him, so that they can go talk to his head butler person to be like, what the heck happened? Uh,
Perfect.
yeah.
So
she's
yeah,
just
there's like
waiting.
a short hallway that leads down to a door. Is on the left hand side you would go into the kitchen. On the right hand side there is a door that goes into the dining room. You notice that several of the house workers are coming out of that room, like they had been looking out the window there. Excuse me. And you kind of peek in, like staying in that hallway, you can see that Dizzy's helping with Alphonse, and they've set him on a chair and they're trying to get him to drink some water. He's pretty non-responsive. Every so often he kind of opens his eyes a little and then closes them again. You do hear the head butler say we should probably take him up to his room and let him rest. So you lose sight of Dizzy and Alphonse and most of the workers as they carry him off. They do go upstairs and to the left, whereas your rooms were upstairs and to the right.
Okay, she's gonna call to Lilith in the kitchen and be like, following them upstairs, and she'll probably just to like let Lilith know where they are, and she'll probably follow them upstairs.
Okay.
Like, she's not really like helping carrying it. Like, how many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? Like, like she's just like she's kind of following them, making sure they don't need her, but she's wants to make sure that she can talk to them after they put Alphonse down to bed, I guess.
Totally. So Lilith, about the time that you're walking out, Lilith says, going upstairs, or sorry, Lyra says, going upstairs, and you open the door and you notice that she's heading out.
I'm going to follow her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to follow her. And also tap her on the shoulder and be like, I wouldn't eat any of that if I...
So Twiggy, are you hanging out and making yourself a steak?
Yeah, like, I mean, clearly,
Delicious.
the master of this place is indisposed. I'll take over if that's fine. I'll claim right of dominion, right of domicile. I'm sure there's a word for that.
Domicilian.
Domicilian. It's one of the rights.
The Fae.
It's one
they
of
just
the,
make these
one
words
of the
up.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Count the fingers, count the shadows. Yeah, make myself some food. I mean, obviously, should make him food because he needs to, probably eat something. Juice some stuff up to bring back up to the crew. I mean, because they're technically, part of their right. They should probably be served something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get our steak on.
All right. So Dizzy, as you help carry Alphonse to his room, they open the door and there's a small but fairly opulent room. Some swords hanging on the wall with different coats of arms, and there are some paintings, but you notice that the paintings are none of them are people. They're only scenic or animals. And there's a small four poster bed that they lay, or that you help to lay Alphonse down on. Is there anything that you'd like to do while you're in there?
I'll just take a look around the room and see if there's anything that stands out.
It looks like a lot of these you don't recognize most of the coats of arms, so you're not really sure where Alphonse got them. So that kind of stands out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, it just looks like they're a collector of various weapons and art.
Okay.
I wish I could remember his name. I'm sorry. The head butler. Was it Frederick?
I think it might have been Frederick.
I think I'm gonna go with Frederick. He like pulls some blankets over and shushes the rest of the crew out as Lyra is arriving.
Okay. Dizzy's in the room, like where Alphonse and the head butler are.
Yeah, so it looks like Dizzy and Alphonse and Frederick are all staying in the room currently.
Okay.
Whereas the maids and the cooks and such that were following to make sure that Alphonse was okay or were helping carry him up and prep him, they've set down like a pitcher of water. There's a bowl with a cloth that it looks like Frederick is going over to pick up and start like wiping down some of the wounds that it is obvious Alphonse has suffered from.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Lyra's gonna wait for all the like other servants to finish leaving, filing out all that stuff, and she's gonna go into the room and stand next to Dizzy and kind of like give him a nudge with her elbow, just like real quick, just like, you know, she's like, hey, I'm here, you know, type of thing. But then she'll look to Frederick and say, what happened?
You'll have to be a little more specific, I think. I don't know what you're talking about.
You said they've been terrorizing you since we left, but how did she just like gestures, you know?
It's a little confusing to me. I'm not totally sure, but the fellow that you dispatched outside arrived in wearing the face of the marshal, the head guard guy that I also can't remember his name right now. And Alphonse didn't think anything of it and let him in. And shortly thereafter, there was an incursion of guards that came in from the front and the back. And it was shortly thereafter that we realized that it wasn't the guard captain, and these weren't guards, but they were the jackalweres.
How did they get the job on?
That fellow, as far as what I could tell from the bits of conversation that I've heard or that others have heard over the last couple of days, it seems that that fellow that you took out, his name was Roja or something. He stole it and was using it as bait for the other fellow who you left outside, the one who has a hard time keeping his shape. Something about Sobor, something like that. I didn't really catch his name. It's something like that. Apparently he's an important leader or lord or something of the doppelgangers. He was trying to draw him out, and when he came here looking for the jawbone, they ambushed him.
I see. She's gonna look to Dizzy, see if Dizzy has anything to add or say or anything like that. Also, did Lilith follow?
Yeah, Lilith would be arriving shortly after you elbowed Dizzy.
Okay.
So you would have
So
caught that as well.
So I got most of that.
Yeah.
All right.
So Lara looks really like contemplative, like, I see. Like she's not really sure how this happened either, and she's just like, okay. So she's kind of looking to Dizzy and Lilith to see if they have anything to add or anything they want to ask.
Okay. Dizzy, you're kind of hanging out in there and looking around. Is there anything that you want to ask or tell them?
Yeah, I'll just say, like, we have the job out now, so, like, what is our next step? Like, where do we go from here?
Oh, I wish I knew. The Magister might be able to answer that when he wakes up.
I suppose we wait then.
Mm.
And Lilith, is there anything that you want to ask?
No, I think Lilith is just going to take it in right now. Just take in the information and think on it a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like we shouldn't trust anybody.
Yeah. Lara's just like,
just
welcome
trust
to the
everybody.
party.
Right. You hear a shout from downstairs. Oh my God, no! What are you doing?
Lilith is just going to chuckle to herself. 'Cause
Okay.
It has to be about Twiggy somehow.
Yeah, in the kitchen, the head chef and some of the helpers have come in and noticed that you're cooking this steak that was on the cutting board or cutting block. They shout at you, and then they come over and they actually like push the pan off of the stovetop, and it clangs on the floor.
I mean, if it's meant to be rare, we can just do it rare. That's fine.
That's horrible. How could you do that? It's people. Silent Green is people.
You don't engage in cannibalism here. I mean, it's totally a thing in the Feywild. Like, it's
No.
sometimes when you eat a member of the court, later on they'll bloom into a beautiful cactus, and in 50,000 years they will reform into a new exciting form of themselves.
Yeah, that's not a thing here.
Are you sure?
Quite.
Well, I mean, big issue if it were just to go to waste.
Well, just out. You notice, like, as one of the scullery maids, I guess is the word, goes over and like kind of tries to swipe the steak into a pan, and she's looking around a little helplessly, like, what do I do with this? The chef tries to shoo you out.
Begrudgingly go, but I will wag a finger. Wag a finger. They're gonna have to make it up for me. Make it up to me.
So you flit your way out, wagging your finger back at them. You hear them like kind of muttering to each other about what to do with the remains as the door swings closed behind you. You don't see any sign of your companions, but several of the house workers are kind of moving around trying to tidy things up at this point.
I'll just tell one of them randomly that we'll be receiving our afternoon tea in the drawing room upstairs. And then split upstairs.
I can. Looks like they were going to say something as you flit away.
Excellent.
When you get to the top of the
they were
stairs,
going to say yes.
when you get to the top of the stairs, you notice that Lilith is kind of standing in the doorway, looking in a room. Are you going to head over there?
Yeah.
Within are Frederick, who's wiping down Alphonse's multiple wounds, and Lyra and Dizzy are both kind of hanging out as well.
So they said that dinner had like people in it or something, but they didn't say who. So I really am not sure if I believe them or if they're just trying to like reserve it for themselves, or maybe I just cooked it too much. I'm not really sure, but the tea is on the way.
Just kind of like does a double take at Twiggy, like, people. Okay. It's just like, for that, just like, okay, sounds good.
People don't look like steaks. Steaks are steaks. You buy them like steaks at the butcher. That's not a cow, right? Is that how that works? I'm not really sure.
There's like the sound of dripping water as Frederick squeezes out the rag again and continues to wipe down Alphonse. Yes, they brought in some bodies. We don't know where they came from, and the jackalweres were using it as their food. We're gonna need to do a serious scrubbing of our... We'll probably just get rid of that block and get a new one, now that I think of it.
Like the block of houses?
No, the chopping block for...
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably a good time to go into real estate, I'd probably think.
Frederick just kind of like glances at you and then goes back to caring for Alphonse. What is your group plan? Are you going to hang out here until he wakes?
But I know I need a rest.
If you're looking to get some sleep yourselves, your rooms are still available. No one has been in there.
Okay, we should probably maybe take a rest and, like, 'cause
Yeah.
there's also some stuff that they should probably talk about away from prying ears and eyes.
Okay. So as you head down the hallway, are you all going into your own rooms, or are you going to go into like a single room together?
Maybe we should go into a single room, talk about it a little bit, and then separate.
Okay.
That was Lyra's thought, so she's okay with that.
Everybody good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you head into that first room, which I believe were, I think that was Lyra and Lilith's room. Doesn't look like much has been done in here other than the sheeting, like the sheets and bedding and all that have been replaced and are clean. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I mean, it seems like a lot's going on here. How much do we trust them? Do we want to share the jawbone with them, or do we want to keep it to ourselves? I don't even know how to use it. Ideas?
Where did the jawbone take you?
It took me to a misty place. It took me somewhere else. And I didn't really receive a lot of answers from that place. So I mean,
Lyra just kind of looks sympathetic. Like, she looks sympathetic, which is like, yeah, I get that.
I mean, we could test it out and see what, like, I don't know, pricking a finger does while we're all here watching the person.
Do you think it could be a way home?
It could be. And I still have this knife.
Back door.
Back door. I like back door. Lyra will say that.
Back door.
Lilith, thinking about it, you can go ahead and just do an intelligence check. See if there's any any ideas you can glean from your short time? I mean, you were there for like 18 seconds, so not a very long time. Yeah, so as you're thinking about it, like it felt like you were in definitely a different place. And while there were familiar aspects to it, like there were some ruins that were kind of off in the distance, nothing seemed like home. Nothing really felt like it was part of Faerun or any place that you visited there. It seemed like it was, and like there was that like kind of chaotic wind that seemed to like almost snatch at the edge of things and draw them out. Like it was, like nothing was really quite as real as reality would look. You got the feeling this is where the jackalweres were trapped. Or imprisoned, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it.
So maybe not a helpful place for us.
It didn't seem super helpful to you while you were there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we could just potentially put anyone we don't like just in there, just to exist. Well, how about that knife? Can I investigate the knife and see if I can suss anything out?
Yeah, it definitely get the feeling that has some kind of enchantment on it. You're not really sure what it does, but you do remember seeing the doppelganger who stabbed Dizzy with it, I believe, had healed after using it. So you got the feeling it was some kind of like blood drinking, life exchanging kind of deal.
Okay. It's worth a Put it back in its case. All right. I still feel like the jawbone has something to do with getting us home because of my exchange with
Umrak?
Urak, yes. So it's useful to us. We don't want to let go of it. I want to make sure everybody knows that part. We don't want to let go of it, but I don't know how to make it helpful to us.
Okay. Do you have more conversation, or would you like to take your rest?
I'm good with rest.
Yeah, I'm good with rest. We're just doing a quick
Yeah.
little nap, right?
Okay. Are you taking a short rest or a long rest?
I'm gonna do a long.
Okay. Twiggy, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up while you were in there?
No, I think I mean I'm fine. So like while they take a long rest, I'll probably have tea and fart about while I'm master of this house till that responsibility is taken over by the disposed master at the time.
Gotcha. So during the rest, as you're kind of flitting around and keeping an eye on things, and everyone else is trying to sleep, every so often you do hear like shouting outside, screams, the sound of battle, and like if you look out the window, you notice that there are like guards guarding this area, but outside of this. The fenced area that you're within, you do see like jackalwere forms still loping around, chasing people, doing various violences against them. Sometimes you can spot one that's just like feasting on some poor corpse that's like down a street that's just within your vision. So the jackalweres definitely aren't gone. Just you managed to dispatch the ones that were helping this strange doppelganger that stole the jawbone.
Maybe they're just breeding really quickly.
Like rabbits.
Possible. Like rabbits, but jackal rabbits.
Jackal rabbits.
Rabbit wares.
Hair wears.
Hair wares. Oh my god. I guess while he is also indisposed, poke through his library.
Oh, like the office where you met him previously that has all the books?
See if there's anything in there that has been left out or pulled out that might have more information tied to all of this stuff.
Sure. The books that he had out when you were talking to him are still like on his desk. They've kind of been moved aside, but they're still there. Some of them are still open. They're just kind of like stacked so that they're on the pages that you were looking at. As you're looking through, what kind of information are you searching for? Are you just like perusing until something catches your eye, or?
Yeah, he's a simple guy. It's pictures mostly. Words, who has time to read those?
So a lot of the
They're usually
pictures.
sung to you.
What's that?
They're usually sung to you or done interpretive dance. Like,
Right?
no, pictures. Looking for pictures.
Okay. So there are
Not that
definitely
thorough.
several like sketches of the battles that took place in the past, like 70 years ago. A couple sketches in various books of the jawbone itself. Several of the dwarf woman and her companions who vanquished them and trapped them in the jawbone. But you do notice a point where like the jawbone's like, it looks like it's hovering. We're waving now. Hi, Celeste.
You.
So there's a drawn image of like the jawbone floating, and you can see the dwarf and several other robed figures standing around it in a circle, and it looks like there's some kind of ritual or something going on. That's what the picture looks like.
All right, so I'll just pull those pages out.
Okay.
And kind of just compile pages, mostly pictures, but some of the writing that's on either side of the pictures probably is useful. I can't be bothered to read it myself. And then drag that menagerie over to the drawing room where there will be an ordered breakfast for the people as they wake up. And yeah, wait for them to probably get in like a little nap.
Okay. Do you need to do any long or short resting of your own? Okay.
No, I'm fine. Barbarian.
Barbarian. You
Hit points,
do.
one of those.
You do partway through your kind of like you settle down, you get comfy, and time kind of loses some meaning. You're not really sure how much time has passed, but the door creaks open and you hear a shuffling, and then as you kind of crack an eye open, you notice Alphonse, wearing Alphonse's face, walks in. He's very haggard looking, very tired, has an arm in a sling, but is wearing like a very fine robe at this point, is bandaged up, and Frederick is like walking with him, not like holding on to him, but doing that thing where you kind of have like he's waiting for Alphonse to fall, and so he's going to catch him. Was that a marshmallow I just saw? Hi, Marshmallow.
It was.
Pretty kitty.
Baby.
I like it when her tail like pops
Right?
up, you know.
Yeah, right.
Right there.
It's like a little periscope.
They don't seem to really pay you any mind. Either they haven't noticed you, or they think you're asleep. Twiggy.
I mean, I'll just lay there and see if they like begin speaking in tongues, or unveiling their deepest, darkest plots against the universe or something.
Totally. They
Or
actually start like
praise
going
my
through.
gloriousness.
Right. They're talking about how to write a ballad that is worthy of your presence and your glory.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, they go over to the books and they're going through them, and you hear Alphonse. I'm quite sure somewhere in here there was something about how to use the jawbone to put the jackalweres away. What I must have lost the page, and he's like flipping through. He's like, but now that it's been recovered, hopefully they'll be able to help us return the jackalweres to their prison. Flipping through, you hear pages turning. Meanwhile, upstairs, everyone wakes up. It wasn't a great rest, but it was sufficient enough to do your long rest. As far as getting your stuffs back.
Perfect.
What
Lyra definitely needed that rest.
what do you do?
First things first, Lyra's gonna check to see if she's still half transformed. If she is, she'll probably just let out a large sigh.
No, you're actually just Lyra.
Oh, oh goodness. She probably lets out like a just like relief, like you know. Um, Lyra's gonna look around to Dizzy and Lilith and make sure they're awake too before she does anything.
It looks like they're both kind of stirring. Dizzy, what do you do as your eyes open?
I sit up and look around. Should we go check on Alphonse? Maybe we can get some answers. Figure out what to do from here.
Maybe make sure that Twiggy is not causing even more of a ruckus.
And Lilith, like, as this conversation starts, like, you've been laying there for this time, and your brain kind of,
Yeah.
like, zones out and everything throughout the rest. But the conversation starting, you come back to awareness pretty quickly and can take part.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what Alphonse is up to, and now that I think about the jawbone, I almost wonder if we should hide it in my cloak instead of have it roaming around with Twiggy. Because Twiggy's not with us right now, and it just makes her think like, maybe we should have better eyes on it.
Lyra could agree with that. She'll just kind of like nod her head, be like, yeah, probably.
Okay, so you're all gonna go look for Alphonse and Twiggy.
Yes.
So, peeking in just to see if he's in his own room, you see signs that the bed hasn't been made, that he has gotten out of it, and there's no one in the room currently. So heading down the stairs, you see one of the maids is carrying a tray that has tea and little like biscuit cookies, and several cups. Oh, you're awake! It's good to see you. They're all in the room over here that I just forgot what it was called.
What is it called?
Seems good, thank you.
So
Words are
following,
hard.
you notice as the door opens, Alphonse and Frederick are poring over some books, and they all look up, or they both look up and see the tea being brought in, but then notice you behind them, and they gesture for you to come in. It's good that you're here. Thank you for saving my life, first of all. And it looks like the jawbone has been found and taken back. And he gestures over to Twiggy, who has it. We're trying to find out what I remember reading that there was a way to recapture the jackalweres, but I can't find the pages that they were on.
Like, you just don't remember what pages they're on, or the pages are actually missing?
Well, I thought... Oh. Huh. He starts, like, looking through the book again. Oh, they've been torn out. Who would do something like that? Oh, I wonder if Roja hid this so that we couldn't capture them again.
Well, I mean, seems likely.
He actually goes over. Oh, well, Frederick actually goes over to the fireplace and begins like kind of going through the ashes to see if there's any like burned pages in there, like remnants of it or whatever. What do you do?
Who discovered how to trap the jackalweres in the first place?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Lyra asks Alphonse if he knows who discovered how to trap the jackalweres. Like, who discovered that, how to do that in the first place?
It was the heroes that were here and helped to do so. It was something about their cleric, the dwarven woman. There was something that she knew, and in kind of in concert with things that we were able to come up with here. So it's kind of a group effort, as far as I could tell, between the church here and her own understandings of things. And I know there was some kind of instructions that they wrote down. We just need to find them, I guess, or if they're destroyed. And he kind of glances over to Frederick. There doesn't seem to be anything in here, sir. If it was burned, it didn't leave anything behind.
Would the Church of Man have similar instructions?
They might, yeah. What is that you're sitting on?
Jawbone.
No, the papers that you have over there.
Oh, a novella that I'm putting together about our experience.
Oh. I look forward to reading it.
I'm sure you've read it before.
How he just like shakes his head and goes back to flipping through the pages. Dizzy, what are you up to?
What is everyone else up to right now?
I mean, with the news that the church might have similar information, Lyra's not going to sit here and thumb through things pointlessly. So she probably is going to suggest, perhaps they go talk, unfortunately, to some of the people at the Church of Man to see if they will let them into their library.
Don't know if I'm fond of going back to the church, but if that's...
Oh yeah, Lyra looks like completely disdained. Like, does your face is full of disdain when she suggests this? And she's like, what else are we supposed to do?
And should we bring up Brother Man if we do go to the church?
Yes. He's on sabbatical still.
Yeah.
Poignantly.
American.
With his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. He's got a girlfriend. It's not even a person.
I think it might
See
be
the
best
book
if
where everything got torn out. I think Lilith is going to want to see it, hold it. So,
Yeah, I mean it's right there. It's
over.
open, and it's open to the pages that look like they've been torn out. Like it's
Okay.
it's pretty close to the inside or the binding. But once you like know to look for it, it's pretty obvious that there are little shreds of paper
Okay.
left. Alphonse sits down and pours himself a cup of tea and dunks a cookie in it and slowly eats it, and his eyes just close as he's savoring the taste, apparently.
So I was wondering, how does one tell who you are among those of you who are among each other. Like, is there a smell?
Yeah, if we really put our minds to it, we can usually suss out who's who. It's kind of a vibe and a smell, but a lot of the times, we have like an accord here that we are trying to live in peace with the humans, and we don't really want to ruin that. So this business with Roja and his what's the word I'm looking for? He feels as though, or felt, I guess. Frederick told me that he's no longer with us. He felt that we are a better people to be in charge here, and we shouldn't be having to hide from the humans. It's not that we hide from them, but we don't wear our natural faces around them. And I think Roja wanted something other than that.
You try talking to him?
Previously?
Oh, like now?
We tried talking to Roja?
Yeah.
Roja's the fellow that apparently you, and he points at, like, looks at and gestures at Lilith, apparently dispatched?
I mean, the body's dead, but the spirit isn't, right?
I mean, I don't really have the capabilities of speaking with the dead, spirit or corpse.
Can the Church of Man?
I suppose it's possible.
Are they necromancers? I don't know. Do you guys know how to do that? No? I mean...
They just stare at you.
I mean... I am a great wizard,
Lilith
but...
is willing to try. She doesn't have it yet, but... Yeah. Let's, She would have to prepare that.
I mean, you
So
just got up, so technically you could prepare your spells now.
Okay.
So do you want to do
So-
speak with dead? Is that what you're
Speak with the
preparing?
dead.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm prepping. Okay.
So Alphonse asks Frederick where the body is, and Frederick says, "Oh, we've taken the bodies down into the cellar so that there's no, they're not viewable from the street. Where the guards are trying to keep the jackalweres out. Fortunately, they're not. There's no united front with them. They're just kind of running amok in the city. Those who have been trying to get into the grounds, we've been able to drive off." Is she watching TV? Sorry,
She is watching
I
TV and she
completely,
loves it.
yeah, I'm just like, she is so like,
We have cartoons on.
nice.
All right, I'm having a hard time doing this one-handed. But I'm trying to put up Speak with the Dead into
that's-
my...
Are you trying to read it, or are you trying to just click through it so that it can be read?
I'm trying to click through so I can get it on there. But that's what I would like to be doing.
Okay. So as you prepare your spells, just you'll have to swap out a spell that you memorized yesterday for one
Yeah.
to do that today. Not a huge deal in this moment, however. So as you do that, Frederick is like, where would be best for you to do that then? Do you want to go down into the cellar, or do you want us to bring Roja's body up here?
Bring him up here.
Uh,
I don't want to go into a stinky cellar.
he looks to Alphonse, and Alphonse nods, and Frederick leaves the room.
Awesome. I'm gonna, if they have like a coffee table, I'm gonna kind of sweep any kind of debris off of the coffee table and make it so they can lay him on that.
Gotcha.
So I can start my.
There's not really a room in here, but Alphonse tells you that there are definitely other rooms that they can do this. Let's go into the dining room. We can lay him out on the table. Over the last couple of days, it wouldn't be the worst thing to lay on that table. So he leads you out of that room, if you're following him, into the dining room, which is down by the kitchen. In the kitchen, you can hear people like scrubbing and throwing things away. And in the dining room, it looks like beasts, essentially. Animals have been living in here. There's like things have been torn up. There's this kind of smell, this musky, heavy, almost gag-inducing smell to the room as you enter into it. And in the corners, you can see that there are like the remnants now, as people have been cleaning it up, where somebody has been like using the restroom in this room over the last couple of days.
Gross.
And shortly thereafter, who's all following Lilith? Is everyone, or is anyone not following?
I'm gonna follow
I'll follow.
Bach and kind of grab Dizzy's collar
Okay.
to have Dizzy kind of like to indicate I'd like Dizzy to stagger back and let them all lead. Let Alphonse and them go ahead.
And what are they doing? Dizzy?
What's up, Twiggy?
Gonna slip him the my memoir that I totally didn't there's a word I'm looking for here, plagiarize. I mean, not that this is true, I mean, or measurably true, but I mean, I hear that you're, smarter than some people, not myself, obviously. And you got bigger pockets, so like maybe you should hold on to this.
Okay.
Kind of hard to tell who is who at the moment, and smaller circles make better fences, right?
Sure.
Are you gonna look at what Twiggy gave you, or just kind of fold it
I'll
up?
look at it.
As you're like getting ready to put it in your pocket, you glance down and it's like pretty obvious. There are sketches of the ritual that had taken place using the jawbone. And you recognize the dwarven cleric, and there are several like robed figures that just look like humans. You don't really remember anyone talking about them when you went on your fact-finding mission at the university and at the church, but you do recognize that the robes themselves are at least similar to those from the Church of Man.
Okay. I will hold on to that and probably talk to Lilith and Lyra about it later.
Okay.
Small fences, tiny cows.
Small fences, tiny cows. Lyra, what are you doing? Are you following as well, or are you... You're muted.
I forgot I muted to cough earlier. She probably followed Lilith like immediately.
Okay.
So she probably missed the interaction between Dizzy and Twiggy. She definitely like took the tea with them though, because she
Sure.
was like, probably was like mid about to like pour herself a cup of tea when Alphonse was like, "Let's go to the dining room." She probably was like, So like put it back down, grab the tray, and she's kind of trailing behind. And so she'll put that at like I mean, is there like a side table in the
Yeah,
dining
there's one
room?
of those
Yeah.
I can't think of what the word is, but essentially like
Right. That's what, yeah.
the thing that's off to the side of the room where like all of the dishes and
Dishes.
stuff are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That
Okay.
thing, the top of it is
Yeah.
pretty well cleaned off. You can set it on
Okay.
there.
Yeah, she's gonna set it on there and she's gonna kind of pour herself a cup of tea. Take like a big sip from it and then like top it off again before she just kind of like goes and like sits at like one of the corner chairs at the table and like kicks her feet up on the corner because like she can't really help Lilith too much, she doesn't think, but she'll be here for moral support.
Totally. You notice that the tea itself is, you remember it was kind of weak last time and it's still kind of weak, like they're trying to stretch out the amount that they have as long as they can, but it does have like a fairly pleasant taste to it. You can tell that they put a little honey in it, and you hang out. Shortly thereafter, Frederick comes in with a couple other of the people that you had seen cleaning previously, and they're kind of like manhandling this rubbery purple corpse up onto the table. Looks like it's, has all of these burns on it and various wounds from where you were attacking it. Definitely dead. What do you do?
Hand incense to everybody. I'm gonna pull some incense out of my cloak, and just hand an incense to everyone there, and just kind of wave it around without giving instruction. I'm just gonna be like, just like follow my lead. That's a little awkward. Just assuming that they already know what to do.
Give us your answer, dead thing. Tell us your secrets.
Lyra will just kind of like swirl it in a circle around her with just like a very bemused expression on it, just like, okay, happy to help. Probably nudge Rohan with her toe, like, just like wake up.
I'm trying to find if there's a ruling on if Speak with Dead works with doppelgangers, because the way it's worded is funny. The corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead, so you definitely don't feel like he's undead, but doppelgangers don't technically have their own mouth.
Huh.
But I'm gonna go with yes, you can cast it.
I still haven't gotten it into my sheet.
No worries.
Lilith is going to do some sacred chants as she walks around. At this point, it's going to be like muttering under her breath, so no one really knows exactly what she's saying. We're going to continue the incense for a brief period of time, and then she's going to try and ask the corpse to join us into this world.
Okay. So several minutes go by as Lilith is kind of walking around, and the incense is starting to mingle with the other scents in here, and kind of covering up that gross, musky smell. And Frederick actually leaves and comes back with a pitcher of looks like it might be some kind of juice, as well as a small tray of just rolls. And he just sets them down, and he's like, it's the best that we can do right now. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more actual supplies in the near future. And then Alphonse is just kind of like waiting and watching. He seems very interested in what you're doing. Isn't really like being interruptive with it, but he keeps like watching the corpse, like he's waiting for it to like jump up or something. Like he almost seems on the defensive or something. And after the 10 minutes has passed, what do you ask the corpse of Roja?
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna let everybody around know that we have 5 questions,
Okay.
and to let me know what those 5 questions should be. And
We
does it
should
have to
definitely
come from my
confirm.
mouth, or could it come from anyone in the room?
It actually. Oh, the question. It has to come from
Yeah.
you, but they can
Okay.
ask you, and then
Okay.
you can ask the question.
We should definitely confirm there's actually Roja. And then probably ask, since Roja has broken a chord, that means more Ha have broken accords. See what I did there? Yeah. So who else is no longer in accord?
Lara also thinks that they should ask him who set them free? Who set you guys free? Because that
I like
needs to
both of
end.
those.
Yeah.
All right. So Lilith is gonna. We'll start it with the 2 questions and see where it goes.
Okay. So what's
She's
your?
gonna
Go ahead and ask your first question.
I'm gonna need John's help again for this because I don't think I can remember exactly.
John, in your best Lilith voice, what do you ask?
Are you the doppelganger known as Roja?
Its head tilts back, and even though it doesn't like have a mouth opening, like the jaw itself begins to move, and it almost seems like a disembodied voice because of the way that its structure is. But it says, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
Oh my God.
Yep.
Cheeky. This dead thing is cheeky.
Question number 2.
Well, who let the dogs out?
Yeah.
Who let the jackalweres free?
The savior of Paradon.
Cheeky monkey.
Are you the savior of Paradon?
That's a good question.
We can play Dewey's ego. Let's go.
Right?
Ego knows ego.
I work towards the salvation of Paradon. Two left.
There's something comes from Lyra that vaguely sounds like I hate you. Like it doesn't like it's like a mumble.
Hate you.
It doesn't actually take formation.
And Lilith, so far, like you understand that if the creature doesn't want to tell you the truth, if it views you as hostile or an enemy or whatever, it doesn't need to tell you the truth. So you're not sure how to take these things so far. Just keep that in mind.
Sure.
It doesn't your spell doesn't compel them to answer honestly.
How would we free the jackalweres using the jawbone?
So you're asking how would the jackalweres be freed?
Mm-hmm. Like, how could we free the jackalweres? Is the question I'm asking.
Freeing them took only the utterance of a phrase.
Ooh, we should ask how we can atone for our grievance against him.
No.
No. Atonement? Lyra? No, no, no. No, no, no.
Who could help us free the jackalweres?
Anyone who can speak could have freed them.
For pity's sake.
Great.
And that's your 5 questions.
That's the 5 questions.
And the body just kind of relaxes and goes back into its dead pose.
Oh my god. That wasn't helpful at all.
No, it was not.
Get another dead body. Let's do this again.
You could do a group insight check, however.
Okay.
Whew, some awesome rolls going on over there. There we go. Good job, Dizzy. So everyone's kind of thinking about it, but Dizzy, there's definitely, from what you understand as far as the way the magic is influencing the corpse and how it doesn't force them to respond with an honest answer necessarily, and it can kind of be cryptic, you definitely get the feeling that this the responses given were meant to be cryptic and not helpful, which would in certain answers, so you were asking whether or not it was Roja, more than likely that answer that it gave pointed to it was Roja, even though it was like, wouldn't you like to know?
Right.
It was like an answer that someone would give to confound you. And as far as the other questions go, there was a certain like dancing around the point or the question where, as far as letting the jackalweres out, like that has already been done, and so trying to like find out who had done it, there was a certain like pride there that you caught as far as someone who would have relished being able to do that, like who would have like what am I trying to say here? What am I doing? You get the feeling that this was probably Roja, and they let the dogs out.
All right. Well, I will share that information with everyone.
Okay.
So we should probably go visit his associates and talk
Probably
about
so.
accords. But also Church of Man,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know that Man is engaged and on an extended hiatus / what are those things called? Leave of
Sabbatical?
absence. Sabbatical.
Lilith wants to go through his pockets again and just make sure, just kind of see if there's any other clues in any of his pockets that we could.
Yeah, going through, you don't really find anything. But as you're doing so, Alphonse has kind of been watching the corpse, and now that it's not being animated anymore, he gets up and comes over, and he like pokes it just to make sure, and then sighs. He's like, "Well, at least he's dead. We don't need to worry about his little coup attempt any longer. We do still need to get the jackalweres under control, however. If you'd be so willing to go to the Church of Man and work with them to either, reenact the ritual, or if they know some kind of words or anything to activate it and just put them back. I if I had the pages, I feel like they have the answer, but apparently they were destroyed or stolen.
That's terrible.
Yeah, Lilith
It
is
definitely
gonna go.
causes issues, trying to get this resolved.
Lilith is gonna go to the book and just rip out the next page, the page before, and the page after, and
Oh.
just say, "Don't. We need this."
What? Why are you ripping my books up?
Just to find the missing pages. I'd like to take the before page and the after page, just in case we're able to find them. Thank you.
You could have just taken the book, but okay. I'll it's gonna be dangerous heading through the city. I could send guards with you.
Are they doppelgangers?
We can check that before they go.
How does one check that exactly?
Well, like you said, or asked earlier, if I put my mind to it, I can tell
Yeah, but
who
how
is
do-
who.
How do we do that?
Oh, that's a little more. I know there's certain magics that reveal our true forms. I don't have any of those to send with you. Is there anything that you can do? And he asks Lilith, as far as the magic that your faith works. Can you do anything to help you yourself tell who's a shapeshifter or not? And I don't think you have that quite yet. Let me double check.
No, I don't. Isn't like that a number 6 level?
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
True
Sight's 7.
sight. Is it?
I think
It
it's
seems
7,
like such
but
a
I could be wrong.
high level for that spell, but
Yeah.
It's true sight. I mean, you can see all sorts of crazy stuff with that. It's pretty hoss.
pretty hot.
Potent spell. Pretty hoss.
Oh,
Oh, and
pretty
just like
hot,
as a
pretty
side
hot.
question,
6th level.
where did this Roja guy live?
He lives here in the city.
Yeah, but where?
Oh, I have no idea.
He never had like dinner parties at each other's houses?
Roa was kind of a extremist, and he never really let anyone know who his personas were. So he might have been my neighbor, as far as I know.
Do you guys ever like throw balls, but like masquerade balls, like doppelganger masquerade balls?
There are some who hold such soirees, but I was never really one for them. I have enough politicking to deal with in my day job.
And you get all of the doppelgangers who get together in one roof for a chat.
I'm sure that's potentially possible, although, right now the city is still burning and the jackalweres are still running around eating people. It's dangerous to move around. Probably not something that's going to happen right now.
Do you have a way
I mean, something
for
to
us?
plan for.
Lara is gonna ask Alphonse. I mentioned of the city still burning. She kind of like blinks and like refocuses, right? Because she'd just kind of been like And she can't contact Ed. She can't do things like that. So she's like, I'm here when you need me. But she like refocuses. She goes, Do you have a way for us to travel a little more safely throughout the city?
I mean, you can take my carriage, but I don't know if that's going to draw more or less attention to you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could make our own parade.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely going to draw attention to you. So I guess it depends on what your goal is.
Because we could draw everybody to us.
That's if you're trying to draw the jackalweres to you, it's probably a dangerous idea. I'm not sure why you'd want them. I mean, we're talking hundreds. And thinking about it, the like couple that you fought in the sewer, hundreds would be well beyond your scope of surviving such an encounter.
Perhaps drawing everybody to us is not the best idea.
I do remember though, even though it's not here in the book, I do remember that they weren't required to be there when the ritual was cast. They needed one, which is the source of the jawbone, but it was like it affected all of the area and drew them into that prison. So as long as you can do the ritual or reactivate the jawbone, however, it should just send them back.
Perfect. Let's get rid of these things. So that we
Let's
can
do
go home.
So, another question with moving spells around. How long would I have to take another long rest to learn another spell then? Or
No, go ahead and take what spells you want to for today now. Like figure out what spells you want to
Okay.
do. But Speak with Dead has to be one of them at least.
yeah. I think I would like to attempt to locate an object after, looking at this book and holding on to those pages to see if I can't find the missing pages to that.
Okay.
So, describe or name an object that's familiar to me. Would that be enough, like considered familiar enough because the book wasn't mine?
Let me double check because I feel like there's a way for you to pull this off. I just need to make sure I'm thinking of it right. You have seen this before because he showed it to you. Like you've all gone through this book with Alphonse before.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it can work.
Okay. Well, I think that's the one that I was looking for. So
Okay.
I guess just start the process. Gonna concentrate and take out a forked twig. I find myself a forked twig.
Yeah,
I don't think I have that in my pocket.
you do notice
Not
that
yet.
as you're thinking about it and the twig kind of tugs, it's actually very close. And it's kind of over in that direction. It looks like Dizzy is standing in the way, but they're just kind of, doing their own thing. Maybe over on the other side of Dizzy?
Kind of follow the forked twig and walk past Dizzy.
Yeah, it starts to, you get the feeling it's now over there, and then it's almost like it's moving. And then as you like kind of circle around, you realize it's the missing pages are on Dizzy somewhere.
Wait, what? So I'm just gonna
ask Dizzy if he's got some paper on him?
Oh yeah, Twiggy gave these to me, and I will give you the papers that Twiggy gave
Small
me.
faces, tiny cows. Small faces, tiny cows.
As you're like shouting that, like Alphonse kind of looks up at you and just goes back to what he was doing.
Oh boy. Well, we're gonna have to read these, so I'm gonna pull Lyra over and check out the pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lyra just like shakes her head back and forth, like, of course. Why wouldn't just somebody of ours have them when we're looking for them?
So as you start going through them, Twiggy's talking about small fences, tiny cows, and kind of like fluttering around, keeping himself between you and Alphonse. But
Drawing
you,
Alphonse's attention to me, just like cha 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 cha. Nothing to see over there, right over here. Look, glitter.
you look through and there's like some like sketches of what it would have looked like. You can see the dwarven cleric, and she's doing it looks like she's kind of leading this ritual, and there are several other people that are robed. It is reminiscent of the clerical accoutrement that the Church of Man wears. Definitely a little different, but this was 70 years ago. And there are some like explanations of what they did to enact this ritual and cause the jawbone to trap the jackalweres.
Perfect. Are there any materials required, spatial restrictions? Lyra's kind of looking at all of that over Lilith's shoulder.
Yeah. Do you have any training in Arcana?
That's a really good question. I mean, she is half Genasi, but
Mhm.
not. She doesn't have like any additional training outside of her.
Gotcha.
lineage.
So
So,
just make an
no.
intelligence check for me then.
Okay.
So you're looking at it, and there's a lot of stuff written down here, and you start kind of sifting through it in your mind, and there's certain things here that you probably won't need. Like, it wouldn't make sense because this is talking about like the creation of the jawbone, which then sucked everything in, and it's already there. So unless you want to make another jawbone, at which point you will need to capture a jackalwere, and there's like certain parts of the ritual that were done upon the captured jackalwere, and then essentially they like killed the jackalwere and took its jawbone. It could have actually been any of the pieces. You're not sure why they chose jawbone, but
Gotcha.
they took the jawbone, did more ritual. So at least the beginning of this seems redundant unless you want to make another piece. Everything after that, the main part of the ritual, or the main ingredient would have been the jawbone itself. And then there was essentially a lot of, we'll say, intention. There was a lot of intention behind the actual like ritual itself that caused the effect.
Gotcha. She's gonna look to Lilith and kind of under her breath, because she is very aware of what Twiggy's doing with Alphonse. Be like, what do you think? Can we do it?
Lilith seems pretty
Yeah.
stoked about it, confident.
Alright, she's gonna kind of nod and like have Lilith like gesture to Lilith to like fold up the papers and put them away, because clearly they stole these from Franz, and he should maybe not find out that they stole them. So like, we'll finish looking at this later. Let's figure this out. Let's go back and maybe talk to somewhere but here, so that we can do this.
Okay. So Alphonse is like, I can send guards with you, or although you might actually do better just trying to, slink your way through silently. What? It's up to you. If you want me to send people with you, I can, or...
We might be better off on our own, but she kind of like looks towards Dizzy to see what Dizzy thinks of that assessment.
Yeah, I think so.
Who has the dagger? Is it Lilith? So
Hi.
before you go, Lilith, would you mind if I spoke with you privately?
Sure. And then Lilith is just going to not really like leave the room or anything, but just kind of like sort of turn her back and also nudge Lyra in the ribs a little bit. Just be like, hey, and then not like fully leave, and then kind of whisper, sure, that sounds great.
So Alphonse, kind of follows you over to the side, and in a quiet voice, he says, "So, I don't really care what you do with it. I know you have an object, a weapon, I think, that Roja dropped. He was wielding it. I just want to warn you that there is a chance that it may cause you extra danger as you are trying to get yourself out of Paradon. I know that you're all trying to return home and trying to get, elsewhere, and I know that's why you've been helping us, other than, obviously the kindness of your heart. But
So could you give me more information than that it could cause me danger? Just so I know what I'm...
It belongs to Sobo, who, I don't want to say he's the leader of the doppelgangers here, but he's kind of a lord here in a certain way. The realm itself relies on his being here. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't even necessarily make sense to me. He's existed a lot longer than I have, and I'm just trying to piece together the history and stories that I've been told. But there's certain attributes to the dagger that have allowed him to live much longer than anyone else, and he's going to want it back. The unfortunate part is, though many have tried, including Roja only a couple of days ago, Sobo can't die. So if he comes after you, I just worry about your safety. So take that into consideration, and maybe try and keep the fact that you have it once you leave here under wraps until you're far away.
Keep it secret and keep it safe.
Keep it secret.
I got it.
Keep it safe. Lyra, make a perception check, and it can be at advantage with your dagger.
Okay.
And I'll window over so I can actually see this.
Roll. Do the thing.
Do the magic clicky clacks. You absolutely caught everything that was just said.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Lyra probably like shifted her position oh so slightly to like, be a little bit closer to, follow Lilith and listen up. So, yeah. Perfect. Interesting. Interesting that he marriage.
And then Alphonse, like, he just puts his hand on your arm, not like your shoulder. You were very, very tall, but he just like reaches out and puts his hand on your arm, and he says, "Thank you. I appreciate the help that you gave me. Otherwise, I'd still be hanging on the fence out there. And I hope that you are able to find whatever it is that you need to get yourself home."
Very thoughtful. Thank you. That's very, very thoughtful.
Lara mimes like over Lilith's shoulder, like, come on.
Oh God, there's feelings going on. While this is all going on, Dizzy, what are you up to?
I will, I guess, just kind of vibe with Twiggy in the meantime.
And Twiggy, what are you doing? Are you doing anything in particular?
No, I'm just thinking about sandwiches. Wondering if the Church of Man has free tea and pie.
Maybe different kind of meat.
Sandwich meat.
Yeah, I was robbed of my steak. Sandwich meat, yeah, something.
All right,
It
so
seems like they take advantage of the people enough. They should have some good food there.
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So just so I'm on the right page, the plan is that you are all going to head, the four of you, to the Church of Man with the Jawbone to try and figure out if they can help you put the jackalweres back.
Yes.
Yes.
Or we put them in the Jawbone too.
Right.
We might have to make a new jawbone with one of them. But we have the instructions now, so maybe.
You would definitely need more people than what you currently have, but I mean, if you can find the people to sign up, it's technically possible.
We've got some loyal kids. Would that count?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they've not been eaten already.
You like looking in including the dwarf, there were 9 people that were involved in the ritual. So there's 4 of you. You need 5 more, and those 2 kids from the. Oh, do you mean the children, or do you mean the people at the university? Because there was the 2 students that you got on with really well. There were the students.
I forgot about the students. I was thinking the children from the schoolhouse.
Yeah, totally.
Because we instructed them. We gave them real life lessons.
Absolutely.
And they really looked up to us.
I mean, they had to. They're short, but other than that, all right. Well,
The Caliban.
We
too.
will.
We always get the Caliban on.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we will call it here for this week, with the idea that you are heading out at the beginning of next episode with the intention of sneaking towards the Church of Man. Does that sound doable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, if you're watching live, thanks for joining us today as we play What Do We Do With This Jawbone? Does anyone have any announcements? Anything coming up?
I don't think so.
On the
New Year.
14th? Yeah, Happy New Year!
New Year.
This is also the
Happy
first
Year.
game of the year. I forgot to mention that.
Hooray!
If you're watching this live next Saturday, no, it's coming Saturday, but next Saturday, the 14th, we're doing Star Trek Adventures here on the channel sometime during the day. There will be a thing going up soon as far as announcement. Otherwise, join us next Wednesday, same channel, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. and we will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.